going on, Jerome's? It is draft month, and we're starting to get, well, we're already in the thick THICC of things. But looking over at CBS Sports, our guy Chris Trapasso, longtime OG NFL draft analyst, did up his latest 2025 NFL draft team trades back into the first round for Jackson Dart. All right. I want Jackson Dart to work, but I don't know that if he will. But the Vikings, spoiler, do land another member of that great Ole Miss team from last season. So, recapping things. Cam Ward at 1, Browns take Travis Hunter, the pass on quarterback. Abdul Kader going to the Giants. Interestingly, the pass on Shedeur. Will Campbell goes to the Patriots. I know, blah, 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 arm length. Nah, like Will Campbell's going to be a dog, straight up. Mason Graham's good to go. For the Jaguars, Duval, Membu. Physicality on the right side of that Raiders offensive line. Tyler Warren, I kind of like this one a lot, right? And Justin Fields, I think really would benefit from having a security blanket like Tyler Warren. It's going to be good to go. Jelon Walker. So the question is, where is he going to play? You know, little bit of a tweener, but still can absolutely bring it big time upside for him. Shedeur Sanders falls all the way to 9. Now, I do think that Shedeur could take a bit of a draft day tumble, and it makes sense with the Saints. Like, the Saints are in Garbaggio cap shape, and they got to weather the storm of another year with Derek Carr. But Shedeur, Shedeur next door was a star at Jackson State, so I think that there could be a little bit of overlap there. Plus, I feel like New Orleans is a good city for Shedeur, right? And because say what you will about him, the kid is box office, and he does have marketability. So I think Shedeur, that's a good fit. It's one I haven't even thought about. Ashton Jeanty to the Bears, whatever. Hottie Campbell goes to the 49ers, where he plays angry, man. He does. Like, he is just a ball of energy, and I love this one as the 49ers are rebuilding that linebacking core. Tet goes to the Cowboys. If this goes down, this is actually a really good pickup for Dallas. Kelvin Banks, thanks. So they're trying to retool their offensive line. As Armstead says, deuces. So Banks coming in, just plop him in at left tackle. You're good. Donovan Jackson. So I think this is the highest I've seen Donovan Jackson, and also he's the first offensive lineman off the board, interior offensive lineman off the board. And Jackson, so I like Jackson a lot. Has all the physical traits. I do worry about his leaning, but that's sort of picking nits at this point. But Jackson goes to the Colts. Mike Green, instant pass rush for the Falcons. Undersized. Do not care at all. Emin Wara goes to the Bucks. He and Winfield Jr., that's going to be a hell of a tandem, man. That's good. Malachi Starks, 17. So run on guys that we love. Malachi goes to the Bengals. Matthew Golden goes to Seattle because Slinging Sammy Darnold, a.k.a. Seattle's quarterback, needs a fast receiver. There you go. Derek Hammond goes to the Cardinals. I like this one a lot. You know, pairing him up with Darius Robinson, that's going to be good. Colson Loveland going to the Broncos. Our guy. But it's kind of neat. So his family's from Idaho, working that family farm, hop, skip, and jump from Denver. That's kind of cool for him. Jahdae Barron goes to the Steelers. So he's going to do a little bit of everything in that secondary, and I think he'll work well with Minka as well as JPJ. Jackson Dart, Browns come up to 22 for the. Why can't you go to 24? Yeah, but they get Jackson Dart. Now, I do think that Dart has the traits. He needs to be surrounded by talent and good coaching to start. Talent, not so much in Cleveland, but at least good coaching from Stefanski. Packers get Kenneth Grant. I hate it. The Vikings actually do a little trade, get a little love, get down tonight. So the Vikings get the Wish trade back. Washington, I would have just taken Will Johnson, especially since the Vikings do take a cornerback later. Spoiler. I mean, I would even consider trading up for Will Johnson. But if he's there in your lap at 24, just take him. You know, like, injury, not concerned. And I think that he is J.C. Horn, Surtain adjacent. I think that makes sense. But, you know, the cornerbacks that could go in the back end of the first round, I guess you could say are relatively close. But, Johnson's not a late first round guy. Buka goes to the Texans. That makes a lot of sense for them. Gray Zabel suturing up the Rams offensive line. Donovan goes to the Ravens. Again, Ravens just sticking and picking, just getting a dude. Tyler Booker with the Lions, who's a really good pickup. It's really good. The Vikings checking in at 29. So, again, the Vikings do take a corner, and there's going to be a lot of corners in this mix. You look at Siobhan Ravel, you look at Benjamin Morrison, you look at Trey Amos is going to be in there as well, and they're all going to be potentially like relatively close closely bunched up in terms of rating, and it really is a, what sort of flavor do you want? But Vikings taking Trey Amos is what Chris wrote. After obtaining a 4th-round pick from Washington along with a 2026 3rd-round pick in the trade back. So you get some immediate help with the 4th-rounder, then a 3rd-rounder in 2026, which is nice because Vikings have their 3rd. They have a projected comp pick, so they could potentially be looking at 3/3 in 2026. The Vikings get a high-floor outside corner in Brian Flores' defense, and I do like Trey Amos a lot. And Nolan Simmons, Pierce go the rest of the way. And Trey Amos, it's nothing against Trey Amos, but Will Johnson's a stud, man. And I don't know, there's going to be a bit of a scatter shot for some of these corners. Would it be surprised if Amos went 20? No. Would it be a surprise if Amos went 50? Well, I'd be surprised. It would be a surprise if Amos went 40. Probably not. So again, I think that you can say the same for most of those cornerbacks as well. But Amos, he's interesting. So 3 years at University of Louisiana, go Raging Cajun. A year at Alabama, and then transferred to Ole Miss after Saban retired. And last year with Kiffin and the Rebels was fantastic. 50 tackles, 13 passes broken up, 85.6 PFF grade, which is good. Sure tackler, outside cornerback with good size and physical attributes. 13 forced incompletions, which was number 1 in the National Collegiate Association of Athletics last year. It's good. RAS wise, checks the boxes. 4.40, which isn't even considered blazing anymore, which is kind of weird, isn't it? Yeah. Vertical leap, so comes some concern in terms of explosives, but great in the broad jump as well. The 10-yard split for the 40 does raise the eyebrow a little bit since Kwesi puts a lot of stock in that. But overall, he's a long physical corner. Here's his NFL.com write-up. NFL comp, Tariq Still. We'll take that. Long press cornerback who proved he could make the jump from Sunbelt to the SEC without a hitch. Amos can disrupt the release and play with good short area movement in man coverage. He can get a little lost at the top of the route and needs occasional safety nets over the top. He's not Jair Alexander, though. He has twitchy feet to close it and sees the action clearly from zone, but can be hampered by indecisiveness despite favorable instincts. Amos uses physicality and length to shrink the 50-50 odds in his favor, 50-50 with crystal ball. He can play in multiple coverages, but is most consistent in zone. Amos needs to ramp up his run support and trust his eyes in space, but he has the goods to become a solid starting outside corner. And in terms of cornerbacks, I'm actually pretty happy with the way that things are suturing up. But overall, if you want to add another late first, or if you trade down, day 2 corner, I wouldn't be mad at it. Now, Amos is just an outside guy, doesn't have any inside flexibility. Of course, you can learn that in the NFL. But you got Murph, Rodgers, Blackman, McLaughlin, Akuda, Tavir Thomas playing slot, and then Trey Amos. I wouldn't be mad. That'd be a hell of an addition to the Flores defense, and I think that, like Chris said, I think that he is a high floor, sort of know what you're getting, as well as a moderate ceiling guy. Because I think at minimum he's a cornerback 2 in this league. I think with some work and a little bit of time, even though he is a little bit older of a prospect, he did turn 23 in March. I think that he could potentially be regarded as a cornerback 1 in this league. So your thoughts are thoughts. Chris Trapasso over at CBS Sports have the Vikings trading down with the commies, and then also getting Trey Amos. Trey Amos, let the rhythm take you over, Trey Amos. That's right. Let us know your thoughts, comment section. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol, production value.